Imagine living in a village where a single whisper could cost you your life. No trial, no evidence, just a rumor that you might be a sorcerer. In 1998, in the heart of Indonesia, that whisper became a death sentence for hundreds. Today, we dive into one of the most chilling waves of mass paranoia in modern history. A series of brutal, yet largely forgotten murders, all in the name of fear, tradition, and something far older than the law. This is the story of the Dukun Santet killings. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more you'll wonder, what would I have done if it happened in my town? The year was 1998. Indonesia was in chaos. After 30 years of dictatorship, the regime of Suharto had just collapsed. The economy was crashing. Unemployment soared. People lost their savings, their jobs, and often their hope. And when nations collapse, people turn to old beliefs, to whispers, to fear. In the Javanese countryside, something began to spread. An ancient superstition whispered from door to door. There are sorcerers among us, and they are killing people with black magic. The term was Dukun Santet, a kind of black magician believed to cause illness, misfortune, even death. Not with weapons, but with invisible curses. And people were convinced they were real. It started quietly. A body found in a ditch, another in a rice field. Both were elderly. Both had been accused, weeks before, of being Dukun Santet. Then came more and more. Groups of villagers formed what they called safety patrols. They went door to door at night, seeking out anyone who was rumored to be a practitioner of dark arts. They demanded confessions, and when none came, they delivered punishment anyway. Victims were often elderly, reclusive, or just a bit different. Many had been traditional healers, herbalists, people who lived on the edge of the community's understanding. And so, they were hunted. In some areas, these mobs were supported, or at least ignored, by local authorities. After all, in a nation with no stable leadership, justice was whatever the crowd decided. By May, over 100 people were dead. And it wasn't stopping. What happened in Java wasn't just violence. It was mass hysteria. Villagers began accusing each other. Friends turned on friends. Neighbors disappeared. Some towns set up checkpoints at every road. If you were from another village or couldn't explain your business, you might be suspected. And suspicion was often all it took. There were reports of people being dragged from their homes in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. Others were found the next morning, beaten or worse, left in public spaces as a warning. The government, still reeling from Suharto's fall, said little. There were murmurs that officials knew what was happening and let it continue to maintain local control. And through it all, the word Dukun Santet echoed louder and louder. To understand this, we have to understand the psychology of fear. Indonesia has a long history of belief in magic. In rural communities, traditional healers and spiritual leaders are still powerful figures. But that power can become dangerous when fear takes root. After the collapse of Suharto's regime, people had no one to blame for their suffering. No jobs, no money, no justice. But blaming a neighbor, especially one already seen as strange, was easy. It created a false sense of control, of justice, of fighting back against unseen evil. And just like that, old beliefs turned deadly. By the end of 1998, it was estimated that between 200 and 300 people had been killed in the Dukun Santet panic. The Indonesian government eventually condemned the killings, but very few were prosecuted. In many cases, there were no witnesses willing to talk. In others, entire villages had participated. To this day, the exact number of victims is unknown. What remains is silence. Some families still won't speak about what happened. Others say the fear is still there, that if someone is accused again, the cycle could repeat. And in the most remote villages of Java, people still believe in the power of the Dukun Santet. The Dukun Santet murders are not just a dark chapter of Indonesian history. They are a warning about what happens when fear replaces facts, when community becomes mob, when belief becomes bloodshed. So the next time you hear a rumor, a whisper about someone being different, strange, or dangerous, ask yourself, who decides what is real? And what if they choose wrong? Thank you for watching Duskwoven. If you want more true stories from the shadows, like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you heard of similar mass panics in other countries? Let's talk about it. And remember, the scariest thing is not the unknown. It's what people do when they think they understand it.